All right, guys, welcome back to Extra Kurdinary. This episode is a little different because for the very first time, I have a guest here with me. And because you guys are my social media family, I thought it was only fitting and fair for you guys to meet my real family. So without further ado, this is my husband, Kevin.
Hello.
Hi, baby.
I'm Kevin.
Welcome to the podcast. This is our dog, Frankie. Frankie just turned 1 year old this summer. How has life been? And I couldn't think of a better person to be my first guest because we are trying out technology. I'm trying out the whole filming and the setup of how to do this podcast. Remember, I just started. I am not as tech savvy. So all of this is still very new for me. So please bear with me as I try and figure out the tech of this podcast. Let's dive right into it. How is it being the first guest on my show?
I'm very excited. When you sent me the invite, I was very humbled, and it was just such a pleasure to be able to be honored as the first guest on my wife's show.
Yeah. Well, I do at this point, I do want to say I really appreciate you for supporting my journey, my social media journey. From the get-go. I know I spend a lot of time on my phone, which bothers him. Okay, anyway, I wanted to have this conversation because we just celebrated our 3-year wedding anniversary.
Yes,
and
we did.
Because people see pieces of our marriage on the internet as I post it on Instagram. And what they see is a Kurdish woman married to an American guy, and they see our life now, but most people actually don't know the whole story of how we met. Da-dun. And there's one particular part of our story that I don't think I've ever really talked about publicly. I actually know for a fact I've never talked about publicly. We're going to get there. But first, I want to start with something bigger than just Kevin and me. Finding love in the diaspora.
Ooh.
Hot topic, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know what that means.
No, I do, but you can explain.
But I think finding love is complicated when you're Kurdish and you've grown up in the diaspora because you're growing up between two worlds. There can be one set of expectations at home and another outside of your home. We're getting distracted because my dog is getting into my bag again. And dating is where those worlds really, really collide, honestly. Sorry, can you not focus? Let's be a good
luck.
boy, okay?
Good luck. Okay, relax. No bite. See how long this lasts.
There can be one set of expectations at home and another outside of the home if you're living in the diaspora. And dating is where those worlds really collide, I would say. At least that was the case for me. Who are you supposed to marry? Does he have to be Kurdish? Does your family need to know his family? Does he need to speak Kurdish at all? Does he need to even understand the culture? You know, it's all these questions that arise when you're living between these two worlds. And if you live somewhere with a small Kurdish community, which was the case for me personally in the Czech Republic, but also like here, I don't really have a big Kurdish community, not yet. How are those people supposed to even meet other Kurds, you know? I've thought about that a lot because Kurds are scattered everywhere. And yet, somehow, we're expected to find each other. Okay. So, babe, now I'm going to turn to you. From your perspective, when we started dating, did you realize that dating me might be different from dating someone who maybe did not come from my culture or a culture similar? Basically, were there any red flags for you?
I mean, I would say that's different. Answer to your first question, yes. Answer to your second question, red flags, no. I didn't see red flags. As far as your culture goes, I don't think you immediately
dove into that, right?
You dove into it like when we first spoke. like you dove into that you were Kurdish and you told me your story. But in terms of your passion for the Kurdish fire and the Kurdish movement was something that I learned about over the first few weeks rather than the first few days.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to say sometime even later, because I feel like my Kurdini, as I call it, has gotten stronger over the years. I think
Yes,
at the
it
beginning, at the beginning, I was not as nationalist, Kurdistan. And, you know, I think.
You've always been.
Right. No,
You've always been.
That's true.
I would say as the world has sunken further into chaos, you've
Stepped up a little more.
your fire has, been lit a little bit more, which makes sense. When the world is in turmoil, you have stepped up a little bit, and that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right. Should we tell people how we met?
Yes.
I kind of was hesitant to share the story, but Kevin encouraged me to, go ahead and share it anyway.
I mean, we met how we met.
All right. We met how we met. I don't know why I was so hesitant to share how we met. So the story is that I told most people that we met through a work friend, but that's not the case.
Yeah, through softball.
Yeah, I said we met at a softball game. What a liar. I guess that was my wishful thinking of how I would have wanted to meet you.
Well, it makes sense. I was a baseball player.
A softball game. I don't know. To me, it was just like the ultimate American thing, like you go to a game, or like a friend introduces you to a random guy or a friend of theirs, and you guys
What we all want.
see each other and you click and you're like, oh, let's go to this baseball game.
Yeah, it's so nice.
And then I
All
would
the
save the
movies happen
tickets.
that way, and it's great.
Exactly. All the movies happen that way. I would
lot of
save the
people meet
tickets,
that
put it in my
way.
little book of memories. But anyway, that's not how we met. I had made that story up. We met. Why don't you go ahead and say it?
I don't know if I like at this point should like just make you say and be like, no, out of principle you have to say it, or if like, because I have no problem saying it.
Why do I have such a problem saying it? That's something I need to
That's what I'm
uncover
thinking
with my
about whether or not I need
therapist.
to,
Okay, I'm gonna
well,
go
I
ahead
don't-
and
I don't
say
know
it.
Yet. Well, either way, go ahead then. If you can do it, go for it.
We met online, like
There
a
you
lot
go.
of you people out there, but we met on a special dating platform. And no, it's not the ones that you guys think, like Tinder, Minder. What is the other one?
Bender.
Binder is one?
Yeah.
Binder is not one.
Yeah. Word.
Okay.
Rhyme.
It's not the mainstream ones like Tinder,
Hinge.
Hinge,
Bumble.
Bumble, Humble. No, that's Hinge. Humble. So it's none of those. Okay, none of them. It was actually
Match.
no, it was eHarmony. Kevin and I met on eHarmony.
.com.
eHarmony.com.
That's the commercial. That's why I said
eHarmony.com did not sponsor this episode. But
They
if
will.
eHarmony would like to sponsor this episode, I'm going to send them this episode. Ba-da-ba-da-brum. That's not even a sound. But basically, yeah. I'm going to put a text.
The more you
eHarmony. So yeah, we met on eHarmony. Why eHarmony? I was on the app before you got on the app. I was on the app for a total of 3 months. And right before getting on that app, I had decided I want to get married. And I'm going to make it my job to find my partner and my person.
And you're asking me why I went on?
Yeah, I guess.
I went on. Well, first off, my parents had said, hey, for your birthday, we're going to pay for a annual subscription for you because we know you are looking for a wife. And I was, and
It sounds like a farmer is looking for a wife.
I was ready, and I felt prepared, and I felt all the people that I met on other dating apps just were not ready, were not serious.
Serious. Yeah, same here.
Or even if they were said they were serious, they didn't know what that meant.
I got on eHarmony because I was serious about trying to find a husband. And the reason why I went on eHarmony is because eHarmony is a platform that you actually have to pay for. I can already see the Instagram comment section going, this girl got to pay for apps to find a guy. But yes, I was very serious about finding a partner. This was right after COVID. The world looked, in my eyes, the world was so... Coming out of COVID, I don't know. It was just a very surreal feeling. Don't you think? You're like, where's the world at this point?
I mean, yeah, I didn't know where it was going to go.
And during COVID, I personally reflected a lot on like what I wanted to do in life. What were the things I wanted in life? And like a partnership and a marriage really was important to me. And that is what I was seeking, a serious, committed relationship, one that was always the one that I had set in my mind to be. So I was committed to go find that. And I was on the regular apps, and I had heard horror stories, so I was already very hesitant to go into Hinge and Bumble is what I had. I tried Tinder, but I didn't really go on any dates. I just talked to people on those apps. And very quickly, I realized that Tinder was not the place to find a husband. That is not to say that you cannot find a husband or a wife on Tinder.
No, because I was on Tinder.
I actually went to a wedding of two people who had met on Tinder. So, yay.
So they're definitely good guys.
So it really isn't about these apps. Like one app is better than the other. I think it's about the people and the commitment and honestly just finding the right match, right? Because we met on eHarmony. But funny thing is...
I mean, you want me to talk about dating apps?
No, go for it. Why not?
Talk about dating apps.
Why not?
No, because I'm going to go off on a tangent.
In a gist.
In a gist, dating apps and the way that they're set up is completely backwards to how people should be finding partners. At least when I'm talking about Tinder and Hinge and Bumble and all those. eHarmony gets it a little bit more right.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
And we'll get into how eHarmony gets it a little bit more right. But in general, I think it's a recycled type of people on these platforms, I would say, especially when you live in a specific area.
Well, it's just the limitation of characters, of descriptions, of the information that you get when you're looking at a profile. There's a reason why it has such a high fail rate.
Yeah. I think it's the way people go into it. If they set their intentions right. For a lot of people, it's just a place to find a one-night stand. And to me, that's quite frankly, it's not my cup of tea. So do you want to know something funny, though? And my sister can confirm this. When we were younger, back when we lived in Germany, I think it was eHarmony. It was an eHarmony. And this is like really early 2000s. An eHarmony ad came up. I think it's eHarmony. And the ad was something like, eHarmony, dating mit Niveau, which kind of is the equivalent of saying like dating with, what's Niveau? Like a higher standard.
Yeah, superior dating.
Yeah, something like that. Like date people who have like high school educations and, where like Tinder doesn't really ask if you have an education or not. But like these apps really do. And they ask a number of questions and all of that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I saw that ad when I was a kid and I don't know why it stuck with me. eHarmony stuck with me when I was 18. And I just find that really, really wild. And I even remember going to Kurdistan and I have this aunt that never got married because she's this independent, strong woman and, never ended up finding somebody who matched her energy back in Kurdistan. And I always told her, I was like, when you turn 35, I'm going to create an eHarmony account for you and we're going to find you a husband. And I remember saying that. And that's why I got on eHarmony, because it was stuck with me since I was a teen. I was like, eHarmony, not that like I'm going to find my husband on eHarmony, but like for some reason it was in the back of my mind. And then when after COVID, I had a lot of alone time and I had a lot of time to reflect on the things that I wanted in life, who I was, the kind of partner I didn't want, because I had also been engaged to a Kurdish guy who, I eventually broke my engagement off of because he was not the person for me. So I went on a soul searching journey after I broke off my engagement and really figured out who I was, got on eHarmony, and I showed my true, real, honest self to the world in hopes of finding somebody who matched my energy. I wasn't about to fake it with a guy. Like, I wasn't about to say, yeah, I'm this, but in reality, I'm not. Or, yeah, of course I'll do this. Or this is my goals and dreams in life too. Like, none of that. I was like, I am going to show up 100% as Huje. And
back that up.
If they like it, they like it, and this is what they're going to get. And I was hoping to find somebody who was as honest.
I think I was pretty honest.
Very honest. You had very kind eyes.
I have very kind eyes.
The day you messaged me was literally the day I logged on to delete the app, because I was like, after 2 months of talking to people on here, it's not my cup of tea. I still haven't found the one, and these apps are BS. Now we're gonna go into why you did touch upon why you got on eHarmony and that your parents wanted you to find a wife. Did you find it weird when your parents
No, I think just I've always been somebody who's been looking. I've always been somebody who's been determined to end up with someone, and
you were a serious dater.
I got to the point where I was like, all right, it's gonna be now or never. And then I was like, okay, so let me give it one last shot. And I was like, I've heard a lot of actually good things about eHarmony, and if I'm gonna take it seriously, there's a lot of people in this area. Mm-hmm. So if this site really does actually work, and it is actually going to filter through all of these people with some science, let's see if that works. That was what my thinking was.
Yeah.
And so I answered all the questions honestly, and it told you to answer all the questions honestly for your best results. And I, contrary to you, was only on that app for less than a week.
Yeah, because you found me right away.
Well, the first person that I spoke to was actually somebody like in Colorado, and it was really weird. It was like, why? It was like, why are you messaging?
I was talking to a guy in Texas.
Why? She was very pretty.
Hey,
you're not gonna show us. She was.
That's the one.
She was. That's why I talked to her.
You're not gonna show us. He doesn't know me.
You were the very first person that I spoke to. You were the first person that I seriously interacted with, on the whole app.
So you saw my profile. What did you think?
So I was flipping through pictures. No, I'm just kidding. You kind of flip through pictures, but you click on people. No,
you were flipping through pictures. No. Let's be honest.
No, because it depends.
I mean, we all do. It's like, am I physically attracted to this person?
It depends on the picture.
Yeah.
So either way, I'm flipping through pictures. And I got to you. This goddess is absolutely beautiful. And so you look at the little stats on the back of your baseball card, and it,
It was a baseball card.
Well, yeah, your stats,
Yeah.
And I see 6'1", and I was like,
for height.
6'1", which I don't know, and I'm sure you guys all use centimeters.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a bazillion centimeters.
6'1".
It's like a bazillion.
It's like 2 meters.
It's like 2 meters.
Yeah. 2 meters.
It's tall. It's taller than me. It's taller.
Why did I put that? You already accidentally added that to the profile, and I couldn't change it.
Yeah.
I could not. But yeah.
Which I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
And so either way, I don't know what it was, because usually when someone that I'm flipping through is way over my height, I just go beyond it, because, I'm just, it's one of those things. Usually they're not interested. It's just, there's a much smaller chance of it working out. So either way, something about it, she was, like I said, just absolutely so beautiful and so interesting that I said, I'm going to go click on her profile anyway, because I want to go read about her. I like, this is beyond a love interest at this point. I have no chance with this woman. But I'm just going to go see more about this woman, is, almost like reading a book or like watching a movie or something. I was just interested. So I click on the profile and I start reading the profile, and I read the description, and I start reading the answers to her questions. And I don't know why, but it was literally the last thing on the page said, like, hey, by the way,
P.S.
my height is not 6'1". I don't know how to change it on the app. I don't know why it says that. I'm actually 5'3". And I was like, oh, okay, hold on a second. And it like re-registered in my brain. I'm
Wait,
like,
hold on. How
do I have a
how much
chance
taller
now?
than me is that? You're like, with
That's the
heels?
difference of a foot. Maybe this is something that's possible then. Maybe this.
So the height was the only thing that was.
The height was
holding you back.
Well, the height. Well, again,
I mean,
you
I
were
wouldn't have-
so
I would have never dated somebody
absolutely
shorter than me.
beautiful and so just incredible with all the answers to the questions. You were very interesting. You were very intelligent. You were very unique, and something was drawing me to you, and so I decided to relook all over your profile, and I decided to try to send you a message. And one of the things that was intriguing was that you asked for this, the beautiful first date being, almost like the stereotypical like gentleman date where the guy comes and picks you up
From my
in
house.
his nice car.
We're not meeting
his
anywhere.
house,
He's picking me up.
and he brings you flowers.
Yes.
And then he takes you to this romantic place to eat
By the water.
by the water, and you have this amazing dinner. She doesn't mention surf and turf, but it's surf and turf. And
What
then
if I was vegetarian?
no, that wouldn't have worked out. And then you walk along the boardwalk, just getting to know each other and falling in love. And
that's what I
that
said.
was just everything that I've always wanted.
Contemplating life together, not falling in love. Because falling in love is the process of
It
living
was
life together
contemplating
and
life together,
enjoying
thank you.
life as we're living.
Yes, contemplating life together and falling in love.
And falling in love.
You said that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
But I
and
think that's
falling
part
in
of the process, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not you like falling in love is the whole thing, is the umbrella under which we do all these activities.
Yeah. And so looking back at the answer and the answer for that question, what stuck out was that you specifically said white roses. And that intrigued me. And so I figured, hey, let me just go shot in the dark. Let me just go ask this beautiful woman why it's the white roses that she specifically had to mention on this first date. And let's see if she answers.
Well, I said white roses were like love letters from the angels.
Yeah. And that was very poetic.
Yeah.
I thought that was extremely poetic. And instead of her just giving me some no effort response, or it was like, wow, she actually has a brain. She actually has a heart. This is validating the quality of the profile that I saw. And I, at the moment, just remember thinking, I can't believe she responded to me.
Yeah, I remember you followed up with something like, "Oh wow, this is great," whatnot. Your answer really took me by surprise in a positive way. And then you said, "I feel like you're very special, and because you are so special, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a story." And then he got into his broken heart love story. You know, he shares with me, you know, this long love that he had experienced
You
and
really
then
want to go into that?
and then lost, and that really turned him into the man that he is today. So I think you and I both were coming from relationships that maybe broke us
I
and
think we both
rebuilt
came
us
from
stronger.
relationships that taught us what we didn't want,
Yeah, definitely.
which I think is very important. And some people luck out.
Yeah.
Some people luck out. They meet, their high school sweetheart. You know, that's a thing.
I don't think
I don't know if
that's
a thing
lucking
in
out.
America or
How is that
somewhere
lucking
else.
out?
Meeting the exact right person.
Oh my
and
God,
getting to
how boring.
experience all of life though with them.
Boring. That's like your family. You can do that with your mom, dad, or sibling.
Can't.
I don't want to make it seem like go out there and date. I'm encouraging other people to go out and sit down with people, have conversation. When you're dating, ask the important questions. You and I watched this dating show. What's it? Love is Blind? No, we never watched Love Island. Love is Blind?
Love is blind, yeah.
Love is Blind.
Love is blind.
And a lot of I love how you needed to say that into
Into the mic.
in this show, a lot of these couples don't address really important things
Topics.
from the get-go. Right?
Actually, they do hit important topics. They just don't.
No, they don't.
No?
No, they don't. Do they?
I think sometimes they do. They talk about kids. They do. Well, they always talk about the traumas that they've been through.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, okay.
they cry together in each other's arms. Oh no, I guess not.
Not in each other.
blind.
No, I'm saying sure. In the pods, they do talk about serious stuff, but I think
Yeah,
once
they
they
do.
get out and they're actually headed towards marriage, they don't really do that stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
unlike us, unlike us. So I was not somebody who was about to spend a lot of time and waste my time talking to, these possible suitors that I could get married to. Where was I?
Something about suitors that you were not going to get married to.
So why did I find myself on eHarmony in the first place? I think I was brave enough to go on these apps because I had gotten out of that engagement with the Kurdish guy. And I think mentally in my mind, I was so traumatized from that relationship that mentally in my mind, I was like, my husband is not in the Kurdish community. I think my husband is an American with Azorean Portuguese roots. And I know I am very privileged to, have the freedoms to find a partner as I please. I'm also very privileged to sit here and share my story with all of you guys, especially as a Kurdish woman. But here's the thing. I think I am feeling empowered to do these things because you're my shield. I think I am hiding behind you. You are like that protective layer for me because if I was not married to you, I would be a lot more afraid of the backlash of my Kurdish community because a lot of these people don't understand where I come from. These people don't know me. These people just see a Kurdish woman with very liberal views. Although I am very conservative. I think a lot of people don't know how conservative I can actually be, or traditional, not conservative, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I understand all this privilege, but I do hide behind you and the fact that you are a Western man who has a liberal thinking. And, in my community, when you're a married woman, people, naturally in a patriarchal society, it's either your father, your brother, or your husband. So now that I am married to you who thinks like me, I'm kind of using you as a vessel to express my freedoms. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As a Kurdish woman, I would not feel so empowered to speak about all these topics that I'm speaking about if I didn't have you as my protective shield, that if society comes and says, this woman is a whore, or this woman this woman that, I am your wife, It's kind of like I'm an untouchable.
You also live in America.
And I live in America.
Kind of just say whatever you want.
I know, but a lot of Kurds live in America, and not a lot of Kurdish girls feel empowered to say what they want.
You can say what you want.
No, again, it goes back to my family won't let me, or my reputation, or my this, or my that. Well, thank you for empowering me and everyone else. But how do you feel that I hide behind you?
I don't think you hide behind me.
Really?
No. I think you might feel supported by me, and that's great. But I don't think you are using me as a shield. Like, if you didn't have me, you couldn't do this.
I could do this, but it would cost me and my life a higher price.
What are you talking about? This podcast?
This podcast, like me even addressing that we met on a dating app. Me even saying that as a Kurdish woman, I was on dating apps to find a husband.
It's a very good question.
Because there's a stigma around that in my community and my society.
Thought for me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I don't think we've ever actually talked about that, but that's something we might want to visit.
That's a big topic.
Yeah. So after we started chatting with each other, very quickly after that, we ended up going on a date. And that date was first date. And I think that date was the defining date for us, that we knew we were going to get married.
Well, what about the virtual date?
Oh, yeah, virtual date. We did too. We had a virtual date. So I did not want to waste my time on the platform talking to guys. I immediately wanted to meet you and get to know you. So we went on a first date. We sat down under a tree and we forgot about our dinner reservations, right?
Well, yeah, we forgot about them, but also just decided to kind of skip them because we just were too happy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
We were too happy. We met and we immediately fell in love with each other. And honestly,
we don't need the restaurant right now.
I didn't think that I thought, like Middle Eastern guys love bomb girls all the time. Right? We know that. But I did not expect for a white guy to fall in love so quickly.
That's such a beautiful girl.
Yeah, I took him to a park, my favorite park, with a cute little white pavilion in it. And I told him that it was my dream to be proposed under that pavilion or get married in this park.
Yeah, to get married in that park.
To get married in that park. And 1 year after we met on that date, you proposed to me under that pavilion.
Correct. Yep. It was a good idea. He
asked me to be his wife.
Yep.
And I said,
I did it all.
Yo, for life.
I did it all up.
And then a year after, the year and the day after.
She was crying when she was walking. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I cried. And then exactly a year to the day after that proposal, we got married.
Yep.
In Marion, Massachusetts.
We both said I do.
We had some interesting conversations before we actually started planning for the proposal and the wedding, right?
Yes, we had many.
What was the biggest surprise to you when you knew you were going to get married to me and like, okay, let's talk about it, next steps. What was the biggest surprise that you found out?
With the wedding?
Yeah.
that I was going to be paying for it.
Was that a big?
Was that the gentlemanly thing was to pay for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
Because I'm a gentleman, so I'm obviously going to do that.
Do you think it's good? It's better for the girl's family to pay for a wedding or the guy's family?
Well, I don't have an opinion on which is better. It's really based off of culture. So in my culture, families prepare for daughters to get married and they save up for their daughters' weddings.
Yeah.
They don't save up for their sons' weddings. So
whereas in my culture, you do not save up for your daughter's wedding. You save up everything for the son's wedding.
It's the opposite. So
Yeah.
my parents had already paid for their daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
They didn't save anything for my wedding because I'm their son. So they didn't think that they would have to pay for anything.
Yeah, so when we talked about the wedding, I sat Kevin down and I was like, so these are the rules in my culture, and we have to follow them if you're serious about marrying me. One of them, and the biggest one, was you're paying for the wedding.
And I immediately said yes.
And my family threw the engagement party.
Yes,
You
which
cannot
was
have this.
pretty awesome.
It was a really nice engagement party. We had some Kurdish in there. We did the whole cutting the rings with the red ribbon.
My family got their first taste of Kurdish dancing.
First taste of Kurdish dancing, that's true. And then we practiced again during the
My mom
shower.
jumped right in.
Yep. The other big surprise, what was that?
What?
The one you had to ask your dad, and your dad said,
That about gold, about buying gold.
yeah, I said gold is important in my culture.
Which
You have to get the bride
is
gold.
great. It's just for my family and for my world in investing, which is what I'm told is the purpose of the gold.
Yeah,
Is in my country it's stocks.
right.
You do stocks and
Right.
bonds.
So the gold in Kurdish culture counts as, obviously to adorn the bride and, as a gift to the bride, but it also acts as a starter money or investment money for the new couple that is then owned, but it is owned by the woman because it comes in the form of jewelry. In old school Kurdish
Makes
traditions, and I think to this day still families practice this. Some families practice this. The endowment, and the gold is part of the endowment. I think is that the right term?
Yeah, I
dowry,
think so.
dowry, not
Dowry.
endowment. That's what is it? A chair, a dowry, and gold is usually part of the dowry. But so Kevin tells his Dad, we also have to get huje gold. What does your dad say?
My dad asked if we could do stocks instead.
Stocks and bonds instead.
Of course.
I love that. That's one of
That's
my
what
favorite
that's what
stories
we
to
have.
share. Stocks and golds instead. Stocks and bonds instead. So you see the cultural nuances and differences in the relationship that we have as an interracial couple. And marriage is not always easy, trying to navigate our two worlds. Can you not get distracted by the dog? I would love that.
Just making sure he's got your keys right now.
So navigating marriage, especially navigating marriage in itself is not easy, but navigating marriage in an interracial relationship, I think adds a layer of complexity and the necessity to communicate a little better, right?
Yeah. there are
Which is
definitely
why-
situations that you need to communicate.
Which is why I decided to really take therapy seriously, because coming from, being a child of war, I did not realize the amount of trauma that I actually carry. And it started to show up in our marriage and our everyday life. And, it was important for me to address my trauma so that I can be as good of a partner to you as you are to me. I love you.
Oh, don't say that, baby.
But yeah. So now that we've celebrated 3 years of marriage, Out of the 3 years we've been together, which year has been your favorite?
Which year?
Yeah.
I would say that all the years have been a little different and good in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to experience different things. And so I've got to enjoy, as you would say, different vibes.
Yeah. Out of the 3 years, which one has been your favorite?
I think this past year?
I agree.
I think this
Me
past
too.
year.
Year 3 has been the best one for us yet. Year 1 was really rough for me. I was like, do I want to be married? I was like, this is not, what is this?
Growing pains.
It was growing pains. Absolutely. I had to sell my apartment. We were looking to buy this one. It's, yeah,
It was a lot of work.
a lot of stuff.
to
I
do.
lost my job. I found a new job. I lost that job. Then I went back to my current job. It was a ride. It was such a ride. I also was getting used to
stronger.
I was getting used to how to live with a boy.
Yes.
Our dog is distracting. Frankie, that's just paper. It's fine. Let him do that. It's fine. All right, baby. I really appreciate you for being on my podcast and supporting me in the social media journey. Thank you for letting
of
me
course.
use you as a shield.
Yes, whatever.
As I hide behind you, I'll go.
Whatever you need, me and Frankie have you.
You are an amazing partner to me and an amazing
As are you.
father to our dog. And I cannot wait to celebrate 300 more years with you in this lifetime and
At
every
least.
lifetime after this.
Yes.
All right.
Always.
Adios, muchachos. Actually, no, you go. You stay here. I'll be right back. Thank you for spending time with me and my family on this episode. This one is obviously a little bit more personal, but I'm really, really glad that Kevin encouraged us to share our digital love story on how we connected, how we ultimately fell in love. In a tech world, love looks completely different. There is a lot less stigma around finding love on dating apps, but in a Kurdish society, I think we're still navigating that shift. Dating apps, especially the idea of intentionally looking for love online, can still feel new, uncomfortable, and to a certain level taboo within Kurdish society. And for those of us in the diaspora, there's another added layer of complexity to all of this. Sometimes it's just genuinely difficult and hard to meet other Kurds. So if being someone who understands the culture, the family dynamics, the language, or honestly just gets what it means to be Kurdish is important to you, finding that person isn't always easy if you're living in the diaspora. And that actually brings me to something I wanted to share with you guys today. It's kind of a little gift that I'm leaving you guys with. There is a Kurdish dating app, and it's called Evindari. Evin in Kurdish means love. Evindari means in the state of love, to be in the state of love. This app was created specifically for single Kurds around the world who are genuinely looking for meaningful long-term relationships, aka marriage. Evindari is not sponsoring this episode, but because I love my Kurdish community and always want the best for you guys, I am happy to share and endorse this app and let you guys know that if I was single, you would find me on that app. What I like about the idea behind Evindari is that it's not just about dating. It's also creating another way for Kurds to find and connect each other, especially for those of us who are living in the diaspora. The app puts a big emphasis on cultural connection, but it also puts an emphasis on creating a respectful and safe space where people can get to know each other with real intentions. So please don't go on this app, find girls, and go back home gossiping about who you might have found on this app. This app is for genuine connections only. What I appreciate about this app is that they've made privacy and security a priority, which, let's be real, is especially important when you're putting yourself out there on a dating app but especially real when you're a Kurdish girl putting yourself out there on a dating app. And listen, Kevin and I obviously did not meet on Evindari, but we do believe that your love, your soulmate might be on the other side of a screen. So if you are single, don't take that opportunity away from yourself. Your love story might only be a download away with Evindari. Maybe your future wife or husband lives in another country. Maybe they are in another city. Maybe you would have never crossed paths if you hadn't joined Evindari. So if you're single, Kurdish, and looking for something serious, I highly encourage you to check out Evindari. You never know. Your own digital love story could be one download away. Thank you so much for joining another episode of Extra Kurdinary, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.